In the United States of America, inside sold-out arenas under bright UFC lights, one man became a legend long before most fighters reached their prime. A fighter with impossible reach, unpredictable moves, and a mind built for martial arts chess. This is the journey of Jon "Bones" Jones, the youngest champion in UFC history and one of the greatest fighters the sport has ever seen. Jonathan Dwight Jones was born on July 19, 1987, in Rochester, New York. His father was a pastor, strict but supportive. His mother was loving, gentle, and strong. Growing up, sports were everything in the Jones family. His brothers Chandler and Arthur would later play in the NFL. But Jon, thin, long-armed, creative, chose a different battlefield. He fell in love with wrestling and instantly stood out. Jon wasn't the strongest athlete in school, but he was smart, strategic, and unpredictable. He became a high school wrestling champion and earned the nickname Bones because of his skinny frame. He didn't know it then, but that long, lean physique would one day become one of the biggest weapons in UFC history. After high school, Jon continued wrestling in college. Money was tight, life was tough. He worked odd jobs, including security shifts, just to support his girlfriend and newborn daughter. One day, a friend introduced him to MMA. Within 1 week, Jon Jones knew, "This is my future." He trained endlessly, learned submissions, developed spinning strikes. And in just a few months, he became a rising talent on the regional MMA scene. In 2008, Jon Jones stepped into the UFC octagon in the United States. Only 21 years old, barely any professional experience. But the moment he threw a spinning elbow, the crowd saw something special. He won his early UFC fights with ease. Long kicks, shocking speed, creative movement. Commentators said he looked like a new species of fighter. Jones wasn't just winning. He was destroying legends. He beat Mauricio Shogun Rua, Rampage Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, Vitor Belfort. He could wrestle with champions, strike with strikers, submit black belts. Inside the cage, Jones was simply unmatched. 2011, Newark, New Jersey. Jon Jones dominated Shogun Rua and became the youngest champion in UFC history at just 23 years old, a record that may never be broken. With that fight, a new era began in American MMA history. The rivalry between Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier is one of the greatest in UFC history. Two champions, two dominant wrestlers, two completely opposite personalities. Their battles were emotional, personal, and explosive. Every press conference, every stare down, every fight shook the entire MMA world. And each time they met in the octagon, Jon Jones proved why he was the superior fighter. After ruling the light heavyweight division for nearly a decade, Jon Jones left the weight class. He wanted a new challenge, a new mountain to climb. For 3 years, he gained weight, built muscle, and trained to become a heavyweight. In March 2023, in Las Vegas, he returned to the UFC to fight Cyril Gane. People doubted him, but in just 2 minutes, he submitted Gane and became the UFC heavyweight champion. Jon Jones had officially conquered 2 divisions. Jon Jones is not perfect. He faced controversies, suspensions, and personal struggles. But despite everything inside the cage, he remains one of the most skilled fighters to ever walk on American soil. His fight IQ, his reach, his creativity, his ability to adapt make him one of the greatest fighters in UFC history, maybe the greatest ever. This is the story of Jon "Bones" Jones, a kid from New York who became the youngest champion, a warrior who dominated 2 divisions, a legend whose legacy will live forever in the world of mixed martial arts.